So we are collectors of all forms. For me, personally, there are just different stages of which a collector grow into. And I'm at the very worst end of it because deeply inflicted with this passions. When I buy something, I need to have the full collection. But that's part of the journey because by the time you complete it, you look at it and it's like, wow, I'm the only 10 people, 20 people in the world that could actually achieve this whole collection. And that gives me joy. As I mature in life, I started to collect things with a lot more inherent value. So like original artworks, limited edition prints, sculptures. But right now I'm quite obsessive over cars, actually, but in particular vintage car. More often than not, collectibles appreciate in value, right, in the secondary marketplace, and there are multiple considerations to that. First and foremost, the easiest one would be the reputation of the artist who's involved. Essentially, the value would then increase from there. So every collector really just wants a limited edition product, otherwise it sort of defeats the purpose of it being a collectible. So when I started collecting during my school days, my family generally thinks it's a waste of money and that I'm out of my mind. Like, at my age, why do I buy toys? I try to reason it out, and they still don't quite get it. When I started out the business, the first product was with Clock 2, which we created this Hell Lotus figure. We made 200 units. It was in my parents' HDB house, so it's like stacked up high. One thing I'm very grateful for is that when I started out the business, although they don't quite understand it, it was all hands on deck. Whether is it packing the products, shipping them, and so on. Even my extended family got involved. And so when I moved from being a collector to a creator, you begin to notice things like the material of it, what a wide variant of materials that you could use, the techniques that is required to create it. So I begin to collect less, but I only collect those things which I find technically hard to achieve. So I think that allows me to really understand what it takes to create a world-class collectible. One of the motivation that got me into this was simply the desire to work with my idols. Some of these brands and companies, whether is it Fang or James Jean or Jeff Staple and so on, these are people that I look up to. And to realize it in a physical collaboration, it's that fulfillment. It's very hard to put a value on. Back in 2012, 2013, right? The second product that we ever did was with a French artist called Goin. And the art piece is called Bad Apple. So it's Snow White holding up a grenade. Back then, Paris was having a riot. So it's a symbolism of a certain political stance. And I'm a huge fan of funk. There are very, very stark difference between the approach, right, Singapore and rest of the world. That in Singapore, right, for creative side of things, for the longest time it hasn't been acknowledged in a way that it should be. That said, I think in the last couple of years, the last 5 years, 6 years, we've seen a lot of local creatives like making it big overseas.
Nobody makes sculptures in clay nowadays, everything is digital now, but I was actually enjoying the process of making characters that I love in clay using my hands. So we're not making one-off sculptures, but also making a series of characters based on particular IPs. It's been great to have Jackson as a colleague and a friend to grow the business together. So we don't only see Kinetic as Kinetic, or we don't see Mighty Jaxx as Mighty Jaxx, but we see it together as an umbrella and a family.
The brand is really an extension of all of us over here, and the music we listen to, the art that we collect, the different pop culture elements that influence us as we grow up. Coming from Singapore and seeing how it's able to translate that globally and being successful in each of these different regions was also an affirmation for us. At least I can go back to my parents and like, hey, it's not so crazy after all, and there's actually people buying.